Hi, are you excited about the new blocks that have just arrived with the Wild update? Do you want to start building with the new Mangrove wood, but you're not sure what blocks go well with what? Well, I'm Dippyblether and I love building too, so I have been looking into color schemes. Color schemes with a really cool new wood. Let's have a look at these new blocks first. Here we have the mud, it's really dark, and the muddy mangrove roots. They've got like a hint of green, and this is very interesting, the mangrove roots. They are see-through, just like leaves. Amazing. And then we have the packed mud, which is much lighter, and the mud bricks, and they come in all shapes and sizes, of course. And then there's the stuff that I'm really excited about, the mangrove wood. This is a mangrove log, and I think it's got a beautiful, rich, dark red color and some really interesting markings on the inside. But the bark, I think, is a little bit disappointing. I think it's too similar to jungle logs, but maybe it could be useful for shading or something. I don't know. And then here is the strip wood, and finally the planks. And of course, we've got all the usual craftable items like doors. Yeah, this trapdoor is actually amazing. I love this weird hole in the middle. Is anybody else thinking dragon eyes here? I can see a project coming on. And then fences, steps, all this stuff, right? So here's the mangrove wood next to the mud blocks. And I have to say, I think this is already really nice. They go well together, don't they? It's a bit on the drab side, but I could definitely see like a mud hut in the swamp or something made from these blocks. Okay, let's look at shading first. So we've all been to the School of B-Dubs and we want to break up large areas. So we need blocks that are close in color to the one we're building with. And I found these blocks and I think they are really quite close to the mangrove tone. So first of all, I was surprised by the weathered copper here. I think this could really work. And yeah, the granite block looks good, but this netherrack here is almost the same color and a totally different texture. It's really, that looks perfect to me. And then I quite like the pink terracotta and the regular terracotta too. Yeah, and the red bricks are not too shabby either. Yeah, lots of options. Over here, I've looked at a monochrome palette, so that's basically lighter or darker shades of related colors. Any of these would give your building a really harmonious and warm feeling. I really like these netherite bricks. They are much darker, but they're almost the same tone. I think that looks really good. And then there's a block here that looks amazing if you really want to flex your build. Ancient debris. Also, I really like this iron ore here and the dripstone and the copper. That's kind of unusual block combinations. And the lighter shades of grey also look nice, so I think you could add in most stone blocks. But my favorites, I think, are the whites and off-whites quartz. This is a snow block, mushroom stems, the white terracotta. It gives a really nice warm contrast. I could really see this in a medieval build or some rustic building. And over here, look at this. There's another surprise. This is gravel and dead coral mixed in with the mangrove, and both of these greys are quite warm, so they really look very pleasant together. I think we have finally found a good use for dead coral. I love it. Right, this is a different color scheme. These are all colors that are next to each other on the color wheel, so many oranges and yellow tones, and again a warm and cozy palette. And let's look at some of these blocks. I really like the yellow frog lights here. It's one of the new light blocks and it looks kind of worn and gives a softer light than the sea lantern, so I could really use that. Also, the yellow terracotta looks great. I love it. And the honeycomb block, it really pops, doesn't it? The acacia block is also quite close in color, maybe a bit boring, I don't know. But what I really like is up here, the item frames. I really like the glowing one, but the other one's not too bad. And I would use a whole row of them for some detailing on a wall maybe. I think that would be awesome. So now let's go over here and look at complementary colors. That's colors on the opposite sides of the color wheel. So complementary colors make for great accents. So we're looking for greens and turquoise tones. The moss here is a perfect partner, and I really like the azalea leaves as well. I also think this raw copper ore looks super cool. I imagine a place where the building is slightly cascade, or where you maybe want to transition from green to mangrove red is kind of in the middle. Yeah, the green terracotta here is fantastic. Over here, the dark prismarine is quite bold, and also the weathered copper blocks look really good. Now, this here is a little pattern I tried with colors from the three ends of the spectrum, red, green and yellow, so a triad like this always makes for an interesting look. As you can see, the frame is nether brick, and I couldn't resist using the lovely trapdoors as little ornaments. Don't you think they're awesome? This is just yellow terracotta, stripped mangrove logs, moss, and honeycomb block in the middle. And I really want to use that color combo in a cottagecore or a rustic building. I think it's so lovely and warm. This is another mosaic on the complementary scheme. The turquoise is a little bit bolder, and I used glazed brown terracotta in the center. I have to say, this is the first time I've actually found a block that looks good with this stuff. I mean, the mud bricks, they've got practically the same color, and the cyan concrete is also a perfect match. So the grey shades over here are actually just cyan terracotta and mud, and the mangrove wood is what brings it all together and makes it pop. I'm really excited about these color combinations, but what could we use this for? Well, I'm thinking maybe a castle floor or Viking house. I mean, these colors definitely create a mood. Let's go over here for something more unusual. Yes, these are kelp blocks. What do you think? And here are some blocks that we often forget when we are building, and I think they are highly underrated. These are crafting benches and note blocks. They already have so much texture in them. They look like fancy tiles or wall paneling. These are some of my favorite blocks to build with. They add instant interest, and the crafting benches are also super handy to have around if you feel a spontaneous bout of crafting coming on, for example. I'm super excited about these new blocks, and I really can't wait to start building with them. I hope I've given you some useful ideas, and I'd love it if you shared your own mangrove wood building ideas in the comments. And if you like this video, remember, if you liked it, like it, give me a little like. And if you want to see more of Dippyblether, you know the drill, subscribe. I'm only a tiny little YouTuber, so every single sub counts. So I'm really grateful for every single one of you. Happy building, and bye-bye!